Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this week? I am cold this week. We're getting, in the morning time, we're getting down into like the 60s, which technically that's nothing when we've been in the hundreds for days. But to me, it feels so cold. My bones feel cold and I just feel cold all over. So I am curled up under my blankets this morning until we hit our 100 this afternoon, which is going to happen. So, yep, it is a cold one. How's everyone doing this week? I am drinking I call it my pretend pumpkin spice latte in my favorite mug. I don't know if y'all can see that. I love it. My sister-in-law gave me this mug a while back, and it's real fat and chunky, so I love the way it feels in my hand, because people like me with chronic illness, we drop things really easily. Our hands just, we don't get a vote. Our hands just like let go, at least with the chronic illness I have, I should say. But our hands just like let go, and then everything is on the floor. We don't have a warning. Our hands just quit holding. And so this makes me feel like I can grip it tight. I'm secure. Plus, of course, I love what it says. And yeah, I just feel kind of icky if I don't have my coffee in my favorite coffee mug. It just doesn't feel the same. It's not as peaceful and doesn't feel as hot and refreshing, you know. I don't know what it is. Something about a good coffee mug, I guess. I get used to. A lot of times, too, people like us with chronic illness are very routine. And so we like things the way we like them because it makes us have more inner peace when we are very routine. So that's probably the reason why I like my coffee in my mug the way I do. So anyway, how's everyone doing this week? I've had some ups and downs, I'm not gonna lie. Got some news this week that was kind of tough to handle and tough to go through. Not stuff you want to have to deal with or go through or talk about, but needed to be done. So, trying to work through some big emotions this week. But this week I want to talk about victories. Small, even if they're small. Small little wins or small little victories in our life. And people with chronic illness, we can kind of tend to focus a lot on, we're stuck. There's nothing we can do, right? Doctors are trying their hardest, but we're stuck. Some of us have the unfortunate news of, maybe you have cancer and, there's no cure. That's brutal to go through. Some of us have the news, that we have a long-term, lifelong chronic illness. And the treatments that are out there that are supposed to be, helpful or not helpful, say to me or you, which has been my case, not helpful. They actually made things way worse. And so we can kind of get stuck, especially when we're stuck in the bed all the time or stuck in the house all the time or just feeling yuck. Every time we wake up, we feel exactly the same way as, the night before when we went to bed. There's no change. We can really get stuck in this mindset of just like, it's not necessarily our fault because nothing has changed. We feel exactly the same way as we did the night before, right? And our bodies haven't changed. Nothing drastic has changed, right? So when we wake up, of course, our mind is going to think and feel, kind of the same way, like another day, feeling the same way, no change, kind of thing. And I want to challenge you to try to find the small wins in your day. And really, I know this is going to sound really strange, but I want you to try to really focus on that small win and like cheer yourself on. And I know that sounds kind of odd and kind of strange to do. Especially like, let's say your small win is I took the clothes from the washer to the dryer. I want you to consciously say, yes, I did it. I put the clothes from the washer to the dryer. I don't have to wash the clothes again. They're not sitting in there smelly. I actually got the clothes from the washer to the dryer, and now I have nice, clean, and dry clothes. I want you to praise yourself for that. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel strange. You're going to think like it's just laundry. But to us with chronic illness, it's not just laundry. Sometimes it sits in there 2-3 days, and it sits in there 2-3 days, and it smells, and we have to rewash it. And what do? We go in there, and we're like, now the laundry smells, and now I gotta wash it again. Now I'm further behind on the laundry, and it's easy to be hard on ourselves when we have chronic illness, and it's very hard to be nice to ourselves when we have chronic illness. So I want to talk to you this week about small wins and victories. And so yesterday, a friend came over, and where I live, the street, if I go far enough, it goes to a dead end. It's like kind of like a little dead end circle. And so I was like, let's drive to the dead end circle, because I was feeling good enough that I could, sit in the van. And so I was like, let's drive to the dead end circle and talk. My kids were gone. My husband was working. So I was like, let's just go, let's go have a chat in private. So we did. We went to down the end of the road to the dead end circle, right? I was sitting there, and the more I'm sitting there, I'm getting a little more brave. And I wasn't having a horrible day yesterday. It wasn't fun. It wasn't one of my worst days. And same for my friend. She has chronic illness like I do. And I was like, let's go a little bit further. And so we did. I started driving around the neighborhood a little bit. Then I even went out onto the main drag a little and down a few streets. And we kind of drove around a little bit. And I'm not going to say it felt good, because my body doesn't like the movement of cars. It's very hard for me to focus on the road and make sure that all my, senses are intact. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but I need to make sure that I'm focused 100% on all my surroundings, and, the double, triple check before I make turns and things like that, because sometimes we get delayed reaction with our illnesses and things like that. So we didn't go far. We weren't being dangerous, but we went just far enough that it's something that I haven't done in almost 3 years. 3 years. That's a long time. And though it wasn't, so there was mixed emotions in the drive. Let's just put it that way. Because in a drive like that, I looked over at my friend, and she was recording the moment, and we have to record this. We're actually in a car. We're moving. We're talking. All of that. There was that moment where your brain goes back to the days. She's been a long time friend, long time friend, and our brains go back to before we were sick, before we had our chronic illness, where we could just drive and be carefree, like get in the vehicle and be like, hey, let's go. Come on, let's go do our thing, and we didn't have to worry about, do we have enough electrolyte drinks? Do we have some snacks? Do we have this? Do we have... So my mind went back a little bit, and I got a little sad. Because I want more. I want more. But then I reverted my brain, and I was like, no. You know what? I know you want more. I know you miss the good old days, and I know your friend sitting next to you misses the good old days. We're going to praise the win today. We didn't go far. It was not far at all. But it was just far enough to be better than the day before. Because the day before, I never went anywhere, right? I haven't done anything like that in probably 3 years. I mean, people take me to my doctor's visits and appointments and checkups and things like that. But other than that, I mean, that's like, what, twice a year? 2 or 3 times a year? So this was me on my own with a friend, radio on, driving a couple of blocks out of my neighborhood. And I did it. I did it. I have a long way to go to be able to go any further, like in a grocery store or anything like that. Especially a grocery store, because I get triggered in stores. The smells, especially the chemical smells or the food smells, I could get anaphylaxis really easily. I could get triggered. Also, they have like the fluorescent lights, and so those can trigger the flashes in my eyes. It can also make me feel disoriented. I can have POTS flare. So I have a long way to go to get to my goal. And my goal is on days when I don't have massive flares or I'm not feeling as bad. Yes, I'm still sick. Yes, I still have my illnesses. They're always there. They're always just like, it's either like you're riding the waves in a boat, just feeling like you're drowning, or you're just doing this. You know, you're constantly feeling it. It's like a little wave or a little motion or a little bit of your illness. It's never completely, not for me anyway, it's never completely a illness-free day. And that's not the way my illness works. For some, with my illness, it does, but not for me. And so when the days are just like this, I would love to be able to go to Walmart and ride in one of the cars, drivable carts, I guess you call it, and get my own groceries. I'm not there yet. And I won't be for a while. I would covet your prayers for that, because I'm going to really start focusing and working hard to get to that place. So if you would pray for me on that, I need to bring in some more medical help and get a better team of doctors to be able to reach that goal. And so I would covet your prayers on that. Because I see a lot in, the chronic illness community or people with chronic illness on their not so bad days. So, there's the really bad day and then there's the not so bad day, where they are riding in the cart around the stores and getting the things that they need. I would love to be able to do that. Love it. And so I'm just asking today that you would help me, help pray for me in this area. But the main point of my video today is yesterday had some ups and downs. It felt really good to know that I'm still in here. I'm still in here somewhere. And one day I'll be back. And I will be driving further. And I will be going to the grocery store and other places. I'm still in here. It was kind of painful because my friend and I were talking about, how the good old days, and that's what we want to do. We want to remember the good and happy stuff, right? But it was also hard. It was hard. But in the end, we did it. And I want to challenge you to not be, it's so easy with chronic illness to beat ourselves up and see all the things that we didn't do today, all the things that we couldn't do. Some days I can't do anything, nothing. I can't move. I have to be completely 100% still, flat on my back, can't move. Okay? Some days I can cook. Some days I can only do laundry. I want to challenge you to work on your brain. Your brain is really, really powerful, and it can do a lot. Is it going to completely cure you and change all of the diagnoses? No, probably not. I'm not going to guarantee you that it will, but it has been proven that it can drastically help, especially those with us with long-term chronic illness, if we work on our thoughts and our brain. So I'm challenging you this week. I know this is going to sound really strange and really silly, but what I want you to do is, if you take your clothes from the washer to the dryer, I want you to praise yourself for it. And don't just be like, oh, I did it. Yay. No, I want you to really hone in on those good endorphins. And I want you to say, I did it. I'm proud of myself. I put the clothes from the washer to the dryer. And then when you take them out, I want you to smell them. My clothes don't have a smell because I use a certain laundry soap that goes on the clothes scented, but then when it comes out, there's no scent. But I can feel the warmth of the clothes on my body. I want you to hold those clothes close to your body. I want you to feel the warmth of them. If you have a smell, I want you to smell it. Smell what clean clothes smell like. And I want you to just hold them for a moment and say, I feel the warmth of these clothes. I smell the beautiful smell of the laundry soap. And I did this. Close your eyes and just meditate on it and say, I did this. I did this. I now have clean clothes to wear. And I know it sounds really dumb, really stupid, really, oh, come on, but I'm here to tell you, I want to challenge you this week. Every time you do something, praise yourself. Praise yourself for it. I want you to say, whether you loaded the dishwasher, but you couldn't put the dishes away, okay? You just loaded it. When you open up that dishwasher and you take the dish out, I don't want you to look at the dishes and say, oh, I've got to get this dishwasher unloaded. Man, I got to work on this dishwasher. No, I want you to say, oh, that's great. I have a clean plate. Now I can enjoy my lunch. Don't look at the full dishwasher that needs to be unloaded and be nasty to yourself. I want you to take the plate out. I want you to say, oh, this is so great. I have a plate, a clean plate, and now I can enjoy my lunch. And I want you to go around the house all week, and I want you to do that. And it's going to sound dumb, and it's going to sound strange, and it's going to sound silly. But eventually, if you keep doing that time and time again, week after week, month after month, you're going to retrain your brain. Are you going to be cured of your illnesses? No, probably not. That's just the facts. But you're going to retrain your brain to think that it's healthy. And if we can retrain our brain to think that it's healthy, it does internally start to heal some of our illnesses. It's going to heal us mentally. We're not going to be sitting around. We're going to have our morning days. I have my morning days where I sit and I cry and I cry and I cry and I cry. Those days are needed. Don't let anybody tell you they're not. Those days tears can be just as healing as self-talk. You have your morning days. You have your little moments where you're like, I'm frustrated. Let it out. Don't let it build up. But I want you to work this week. I don't care if it's just I brushed my teeth. I changed my shirt. I've been in my shirt for 3 days and it's starting to smell. I finally had enough energy to put on a different shirt. Because for those of us with chronic illness, some would say like, oh, just change your shirt. Doesn't work that way. Some of us physically don't even have the energy to stand long enough to grab the shirt or we will faint on the floor. And I've had those days. So if you change your shirt, brush your teeth, whatever it is. Today, I put a little blush on my cheeks because I didn't want to look in the mirror and look pale and ghostly white and scary and sickly. I didn't want to look sick when I looked in the mirror. So I put just a little, that's all I could do today was just a little bit of blush. But it makes me feel good and I look like I have color to my face. So every time I walk by the mirror, I see this. not this ghostly white sick person. And it makes me feel better about myself. Pulled my hair back. I couldn't brush it today, so I just pulled it back and fluffed up my curls a little bit. Is it fancy like I used to? No. But to me, I feel pretty. I walk by the mirror and I feel pretty, and that changes my mindset and my brain. Even just a little blush is all it takes. So if all you did was brush your teeth today, praise yourself. Say, man, feels good. My teeth feel so good today. I haven't been able to do that in a couple of days because I've been so sick. That feels really good. Take your laundry out. Smell it. Put it against your chest. Close your eyes. And really sit in the moment and say, man, I did this. I have clean clothes now. I have clean clothes for the week. The warmth of the clothes feel good. The smell of the clothes feel good. And then praise yourself. And we ultimately we need to give all the glory and honor to God, right? Because God is the one that's helping us through all of this. But it's also okay to praise yourself. And I want you to work on that this week. Work on praising yourself for every little thing that you can find. They say to do this with children. So if your children are acting naughty and they're going through a very naughty phase, instead of always being on them for the bad, yes, we need to reprimand them. Yes, we need to give them consequences for their behavior. We don't need to let that behavior go unnoticed. But they said, try to praise them more than you reprimand them. And it sounds really weird and really awkward. But what you do is with children, anytime you see them doing anything, even if they're just sitting on the couch nicely, just say, I like how you're sitting on the couch so nice. You're, sitting there nicely by your brother and you're watching TV so nice. I'm so proud of you. Or if, they're eating their food, you say, oh, look at you eating so nice. I'm so proud of you for eating your food so nicely. And the more and more you praise them, they're going to want that positive praise instead of the negative. Because what they're doing is they are being naughty to get negative praise from you because they're going to take any praise they can get. So if we can get them wanting the positive praise versus the negative praise, their behavior is going to change. It's the same thing with our brain and our mindset as well. The more and more we praise ourselves and the more and more we give ourselves credit for the things that we are doing and the things that we can do, our brain will change. And then we will begin to heal other parts of our body. Work on that this week. That's my challenge for you this week. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel silly. It's going to feel dumb to praise yourself for brushing your teeth or for changing your shirt. Or it's going to feel silly to sit with the warm laundry and say, I did this. I did this. I'm so proud of myself. Woohoo. And then look around and say, but all I did was laundry. I need to do this. I need to do that. And no. Focus. I want for the next couple of weeks, I want you to focus on praising yourself more than putting yourself down and focusing on the things that you can't do. Work really, really hard this week to find every little thing you can to say, I did it. It's going to feel strange. It's going to feel awkward. But eventually, in our brain and in our mind, it's going to be second nature. The more and more we do it, it's going to be second nature. And I guarantee you it's going to be very therapeutic and very healing for your brain. And when your brain is healed, your gut works better. You absorb your nutrients of your food better, which then circulate into your body, which gives you energy, very much needed energy. When our brain has more positive thoughts in it, more good in it, we're less common to have those anxiety, panic attacks. I get it. I have panic attacks that I cannot control with my illnesses. I can't. I cannot. But the more I work on my mindset and my brain, the more I can control some, not all, some of that panic and anxiety because my brain won't always be so wired and scared and frightened or mad or angry. Mad and anger can bring out panic. If you're mad or angry, you can bring on panic. So work this week really, really hard on praising yourself for the tiniest little things. I had a win this week. Was it a big win? No. It wasn't some big drastic change. It was just this little tiny drive with a friend about, I don't know, a few streets down. Not far at all. Just a few streets down. I did it. We did it. Me and my friend did it. We haven't done that in years with our illness. Not all of it felt great, but I'm going to claim it as a win. And I'm going to focus on the good. And only the good of that drive. I'm going to put it in my brain. I'm going to store it in my brain as a happy memory. And I'm going to work to praise myself. Every time I do something, I'm going to say, this is done. I'm not going to look around my house and be a negative Nancy and say, man, I really need to unload this dishwasher. But all I can do right now is get a plate, get food, and sit back down. Hey, I got a plate. It's clean. How's it clean? Because either I or my husband loaded it. So either I'm going to praise myself or I'm going to say thank you, God, for a loving and caring husband who loads the dishwasher. Now I have a clean plate to eat on. I'm going to work really hard on that over the next couple of weeks. I'll still have my mourning days. I'll still have my sad days. I'll still have my anger moments. But I'm going to try to make them less and less. And I'm going to try really hard to train my brain to be okay with the little wins and the little victories. That's my challenge for you this week. Claim the little wins and the little victories and be proud of them. And work hard to praise yourself for any tiny little thing that you can think of. And do it with meaning. At first it's going to be rigid. At first it's going to feel awkward. And you're just going to say it just to say it, right? All right, brush my teeth. But eventually you're going to be like, oh, that feels nice. The mint tastes good in my mouth. I'm glad I was able to brush my teeth today. And you're going to truly mean it eventually. The more and more you work on it, you're truly going to mean that praise. Your heart's going to feel it. Your head's going to feel it, which is going to translate into the stomach and create positive digestion. You're going to absorb food nutrients. You're going to get some energy. I'm not going to promise you. I can't. Only God can do that. I'm not going to promise you that you're going to be totally 100% healed and you're not going to have bad days, because I'm still going to have bad days. I'm not here to say I know all and this is a cure-all. It's not. But this is what I'm challenging you to do this week. Praise yourself for the little wins. No matter how big, no matter how small. Every time you do something, praise yourself for it. Pray for me. Pray that my wins will get bigger and bigger, and that I can get the medical team needed to make those wins bigger and bigger. I'd appreciate that. And if you need any prayer, as always, comment below. I would love to pray for you. Like and share this video with anyone that you think this video might help or resonate with. I'd love to be in touch with them and be able to help them through their journey, whatever their journey looks like. Maybe they don't have chronic illness. Maybe they are agoraphobic. Maybe they have a child with chronic illness, a parent with chronic illness. Maybe they lost a spouse and they're just feeling completely and utterly trapped or in despair. It can be anything. I would love to help them through their journey. I'd love to pray for them. I'd love to give them tips, tricks, and tools to make it through just one more day. Just one more day. And then another day. And then another day. And then eventually we're not saying, I made it through today. Now I just got to make it through tomorrow. And then we're getting into weeks. I made it through this week. Now I just got to get through next week. I made it through this month. Now I just got to get through next month. I want bigger and bigger victories. Let's work toward those. Comment below if you need some prayer, and I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful week.